Oh my God. Oh yes. Mr. Awesome's prayers were answered. Chucky was on NXT. Thank you. Let's talk about that and more here on the Squared Circle Rants podcast. Squared Circle Rants. Mark out with us. Hey guys, Mr. Awesome RC Gate here, and as you can tell, I'm in a really great mood. Yes, because of Chucky, but there is something else that really put me in a good mood. And surprisingly, that's Crown Jewel. But even though that happened before the Chucky incident, I'm just so happy about this. Let's get into it right away. Oh man, I've been hoping for this. I've tweeted, I've put it over on the Squared Circle Rants Facebook page. As usual, not a lot of people paid attention or cared, but I'm still happy as all get out. Just to have Chucky on the show itself without knowing the story behind it or the little callbacks that he made all night. I'm a huge Chucky fan. He's sitting over there. I should have brought him in to put him for the podcast, but I just wanted to get things rolling. But he did a great job. And yes, I know a lot of people are going to think, this was stupid. This was corny. This is further ruining NXT. No, I believe Chucky would have fit better with our NXT than the 2.0, but he fit perfectly for Halloween Havoc. I am very biased about this because I am a huge fan, like I said. I have all the movies. I watch the every episode, every week of the new series. But it was, I'm sure I wasn't the only one thinking this. A while ago, and I may have talked it on the podcast, but real quick, I said, wouldn't it be great if we had, now that the Chucky series that's on Sci-Fi and USA Network, well, NXT is also on USA Network. Wouldn't that be awesome, especially knowing what he did in the past with WCW way back in the day, and also knowing Chucky had a kind of back and forth with Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner's son is now on NXT. I'm not calling him that stupid name that they gave him. But this was just so awesome. The only downside, and it wasn't their fault. I gotta let this little rant out or it's gonna freaking eat me up inside. But I've been having problems with Comcast the last couple of weeks. I went to stream NXT. I was trying to finish it up. I was enjoying Chucky popping up. And for some reason, I couldn't finish it. The only other way I could finish it was to go on demand. Can't fast forward. I was already halfway through, so I got really ticked off, and I just looked up the results. Of course, though, I looked for any other thing Chucky did on the show. On the show itself, Chucky opens the show. If you've seen it, it was awesome. Actually, and even if it wasn't, if you loved it or hated it, tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. But of course, I loved it. It was a really good opener. Fit the Halloween Havoc theme and everything. But then looking up online, thanks again Comcast, I found the videos. He popped up here and there. Like I think he had someone spin the wheel for him or something, or he spun the wheel. I'm just so excited. I was so happy. But then they did the package for Ciampa and Rex Steiner. They did a package for them. Chucky was a part of it. Oh wait, I'm skipping one of the best parts. In the beginning of the show, I want to talk about this going back to the stupid Braun Breaker name. We all know he's the Steiner, but it was still awesome that Chucky did a callback. he called it, what was it he called him? The puppy gremlin, which, for those that don't know, Rick Steiner was known as the dog face gremlin. So it was a funny little jab, but a callback. So, sorry. Then back to the package. I'm just so happy. Then back to the package. He really good at building it up. Also, for those that don't know, the voice of Chucky, who's always voiced Chucky, is longtime character actor Brad Dourif. Wonderful actor. Look him up. He's been in almost everything. He's really great at what he does. Of course, most of us love him for the voice of Chucky. Really cool to have him back in wrestling, especially to set this up. And he did a wonderful job setting it up. The package I saw. I actually want to go back and try to find the matches because Comcast screwed me. And I gotta watch those because I missed about half of the show because of that. But it made me happy. And nowadays, you know what? Whatever makes you happy, screw what other people think. You know, I'm sure there's people out there who thought it was dumb to have Chucky on there or whatever you thought. That's cool too. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Now, if they brought him back, it wouldn't make sense. Then again, I'd still be happier as hell if he even showed up. Oh, and sorry, during that package too, after the package, they showed Steiner working out, and he looks over, and there's just the regular Chucky doll sitting there, and he goes, "I know you," and he goes back to this. Cool nods, cool little funny stuff. Okay, so enough of that. That was me gushing. I'll move along. I'm sorry. Hey, you should be more surprised that this whole podcast today is not just about Chucky wrestling. I could go on, but let's move on to another thing that surprisingly made me mark out and happy. And this was a week or so ago, so I'm a little late on talking about this. But hey, I'm not a journalist. I just say, hey, I like this, and I put it on here. But I was shocked, and I'm sure other people were, when I say, and I'm going to say it, Crown Jewel was actually really freaking good. Me and my mom actually spent most of the day just watching it. I mean, yes, it was a long event, but it didn't seem that way. Like, we just kept wanting to watch match after match. I mean, and I won't say it wasn't just their greatest Crown Jewel, but it's been one of their best pay-per-views, WWE's, in a long time. I had nothing to complain about. The whole night, it was good. I mean, I'm sure there were some mistakes here and there, but I ignored them. This was a fantastic pay-per-view from start to finish. One of the reasons being, and actually I'm going to give credit here, and we're going to talk about one of these guys later. I should have went back and timed it, but I was just so into it. But did any of you notice Goldberg and Lesnar? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, if you can, give me the actual times. But at the very least, I think they both went over 10 minutes, which is unheard of for either of these wrestlers. Like, I was expecting, at least with Lesnar and Reigns, I was still expecting a good match. But I wasn't expecting a long one, because we all know Lesnar, and especially Goldberg, who's older, can't go as long, but damn, yeah, they went 10 at the very least, 15 at the most, and that, kudos to you guys. I have to give you kudos on that. You did a good job. You had me invested, and I'm sure you had others invested. I loved it. Another reason to love the pay, well, I mean, every match is good. Like, go back, really look at them. Well, maybe not the women's, but the moment itself. So, Vega getting the Queen's crown. To me, that's a good moment. She deserves a good push. She's a great, great heel. She really knows how to get heat. And of course, really big push for Xavier Woods. I really hope they continue to skyrocket him, and hopefully they'll do him good with being the king. Because whether you think he's silly or not, he's good. I love Xavier. I love Vega. We actually had a couple of first. Well, there was the first, triple threat women's match. They did a great job. And then the first time a female referee has been a part of Crown Jewel or in Saudi Arabia. That was awesome. I mean, it is. Really go back and look at it. Few mistakes here and there. Like, I forgot about the whole debacle with them saying that the Reigns and Lesnar match was going to be a no DQ, and then like last minute they're like, oh no, it's going to be a regular match. No, I mean, that, yeah, you can nitpick, but it was great. I was shocked. Were you shocked? Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Try to prove me wrong. I doubt you will, because it's my opinion. But let me know. So yeah, oh man. And sadly, Raw, SmackDown to me didn't live up to the pay-per-view, which has been happening a lot lately. Like, we'll get a decent pay-per-view, and then Raw and SmackDown just kind of, they were all right. Real quick, I'll go through SmackDown from last week after Crown Jewel. I fast forward, the whole Lesnar is mad, and, it's, the booking makes sense, but I felt they could have done better with it rather than, Lesnar's just going to come out and kill everybody. Okay, fast forward, I don't care. But now he has the excuse not to show up, so that's actually a smart choice, I'll say, in their favor, rather than, he showed up and now he's gone, like he usually does. That was another, real quick, what made it better. Okay, Lesnar going for the title again when he doesn't deserve it, but at least he put on a good match, and Goldberg wasn't going for the title. Those are my two huge marking out moments. Oh man, I gotta go back and re-watch Halloween Havoc because I want to see Chucky again. And I want to finish the matches. And actually, before we get on to what I was going to talk about next, actually another rant I want to go on. Friggin' Comcast, what's making me angry with them, didn't record SmackDown, so I don't know what happened. I have to go through. I got to do what Debonair Douglas does all the time. Like, what he said before, that he just goes through articles, finds out what happened and all that. I like to watch it. Well, even though most of the time I'm holding my phone going, Comcast, get your shit together. I'm really tired. It happened only twice, but I'm already over it. Don't let it happen again, or else, you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? I'm going to bitch on the internet. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. My hands are tied. All right, dumb joke. I'm sorry. Anywho, moving away from those awesome moments, let's go into some interesting headlines. I guess I'll think of a better name for them, but wrestling headlines. First off, let's bring up, this was a report from Cultaholic.com, where I go get a lot of my news. Marty Scurll to continue wrestling in Puerto Rico, which is, ooh, wow. Not a fan of this. Like, I thought it was weird enough that he was it CWA was going to have him wrestle that one event, but they did a good explanation of why, whether you agreed with it or not. It made sense. You know, they want to keep their word. And we're like, okay, you know, granted, I didn't watch it. I don't know who else did or didn't watch it. If you did, let me know how it went. But to have them continue, now you can't. I don't see any good PR coming out of this, like, at all. Knowing what we know of the controversy with Marty Scurll, and yes, you know, how do I put this delicately? I mean, typically I don't give a fuck usually, but this is a tricky situation. I want to say off the bat, I do not agree with what Marty Scurll did or is accused of. I am not behind him at all. I get that he's a wrestler, he needs to work, but after this, you know, I don't, any promotion that would try to have him on, it's a sticky situation. You know, it being a one-off for CWA, I can understand that, but to have him on, you know, continue, no. I mean, he's going to be at another event, their Halloween fan, it already happened, October 23rd, so we already wrestled. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. Let me know if you watched it, how did things go? It's just weird. I don't know why they wouldn't just cut ties after that. Like, okay, we did our obligation. Bye-bye. You know, that's what they should have done. I'm not totally on board with this. But moving on to the next headline here, Ring of Honor. Apparently gonna take a little break and letting go all of their talent. Now, they're not, I mean, yes, they are firing, they're letting people go. And now this was the first report I found about this was actually from Ring of Honor themselves. They put out this statement saying, throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everyone healthy and safe despite not producing any live events over 18 months. We are able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our business operations and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. I'm all for that. Ring of Honor has been awesome. I stopped. I mean, I don't want to make an excuse that, there's so much wrestling. I mean, but there is. That is a legitimate excuse, which is great. Everyone has something to watch. But Ring of Honor is kind of went down, and not just because of the pandemic. There's a lot of great wrestlers there. I won't read the rest of the report. You can actually find this at ringofhonor.com or the Squared Circle Rants Facebook page. But they're going to keep everyone contracted until the end of the year, which is cool. I mean, that's very nice of them. They're going to continue to pay them, even though they're after Final Battle in December, they're done, or they're going to take their hiatus. I'm cool with the new upgrade. I'm wondering what it's going. I mean, we're all going to make speculations, thoughts of what they're going to do. Really cool that we might see certain Ring of Honor wrestlers in AEW. We might see them on Impact, Japan. Sadly, nowadays, I mean, we could think WWE, then we quickly go, no. Because trust me, I would love Briscoes, I don't know why I'm using my thumbs for this, versus the Usos. Please give me that. But then I'd be worried of what the hell they're going to do with the Briscoes. And actually, it's any wrestler. You hear any wrestler gets hired there, you get a little nervous. But no, this is very interesting that they're going to take a hiatus and then regroup, come back with something different. Because, I mean, yes, no matter what company you are, from small to huge, it's always good to evolve. It's always good to make changes for the better. I won't go on a rant about WWE. We've done it enough. And I'm sure there's more to come. But no, I'm really excited for what's to come with them. And I can't wait to see what happens. Let me know what your thoughts are. Oh, what is it? Well, I wanted to talk about this just real briefly. Talk about clickbaiting. Mick Foley, this is coming from Mandatory. The title reads, Mick Foley wants to face Matt Cardona as Cactus Jack at Game Changer Wrestling. When you open the article, Mick Foley very clearly says, I can't wrestle anymore, but I'd love to. So it kind of, you go, what? Mick's going to get back in the ring? Part of you is happy. Part of you is like, be careful. But no, he's just an example of clickbaiting. I'm sure it got a lot of people. It got me. I'm like, what? I even had to correct my mother. Or not correct her. She made a comment about it. I'm like, no, Mom, if you read the article, he's not going to wrestle. He's done. I think I heard something about Hogan wrestling. God, no. Imagine him in those yellow ties. Anyway. Next one article, again from Cultaholic Wrestling, or Cultaholic.com, excuse-moi. The headline alone got me, so I had to talk about it. And it gets worse in the article. So yes, from Cultaholic, the headline, and this is not clickbaiting, this is just funny. Carmella, my looks make it harder for me to get respect in WWE. Okay, so just let that sink in. Let those words wash over you. Let the emotions flow. Freaking ridiculous. Carmella has claimed that her looks make it significantly harder for her to get respect as a professional wrestler in WWE. Carmella recalls a conversation with Bill DeMont in NXT where the trainer told her she would need to work even harder because she was attractive. What a thing to say at the workplace. Something that the former SmackDown Women's Champion initially thought was crazy, apparently. But she was speaking on After the Bell. When I got signed in NXT, I remember Bill DeMont said, you're going to have... Okay, pretty much repeating what was just said. You're going to have to work twice as hard, going to respect you because of how you look, and it just blew my mind. I remember thinking, okay, noted and challenge accepted. That's what I did. No matter what, I'm going to... So, okay, she continues, no matter what, I'm going to get the respect that I deserve because of... I'm never going to get the respect I deserve because of how I look, and that's just how it is. Yeah, that's okay. If I didn't look like this and I had the same matches and same career, people would be like, Carmella is amazing. We love her. You're okay. I don't think your looks have anything to do with this. I mean, there's some ugly wrestlers out there who don't get recognition, or do. I don't know. Because I look how I do, I'm not going to get the respect that I deserve. Oh, what egotistical bullshit. Because I'm pretty, everyone ignores my matches that are kind of shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That might have been a little too harsh. They're not completely shit, especially when you compare it to Eva Marie. I don't mind talking shit about her. But no, I have a soft spot for Carmella. She responded to me in a tweet, so I like her a little. But no, but still, this is, I'm not going to get respect because I'm too pretty. Come on. That's just kind of freaking ridiculous there. And why would you talk about that? I guess to get attention. This was really cool. Reported by Perched on the Top Rope. I share a lot of their stuff too. And a very interesting, it says here, Christian came out of retirement and main evented a WWE, AEW, and Impact pay-per-view in 2021. It was the year of Captain Charisma. And I got to agree. He's on fire for a man who was questionably on the shelf. Like, I got many different stories, like it was concussion issues or he was injury prone and WWE didn't want to, I mean, essentially WWE just didn't want to use him for whatever reason. But look at him. I mean, he was a part of the Royal Rumble. He faced Kenny Omega for, well, the AEW title and Impact Championship, which he won. And then he headlined against Alexander. Oh, yeah, that's another thing Comcast screwed me on. I was going to watch the most recent Impact pay-per-view, and they screwed me. I couldn't watch it. Although after reading the results, I'm okay with that. So I'm not too mad about that one, knowing what happened. I'm sure there were some great matches. You know, the Iconics or the Inspiration showed up. That was a cool moment. But when I heard the ending, it was like, eh. Oh, this was just... well, this isn't an article. I'll get back to those. I think I got a couple of more here. I was sitting down to dinner with my mother. I believe we were waiting on her dad. Or waiting on our dad. Waiting on my dad to come home to eat with us. And we typically just have Family Feud in the background as we eat. But it was on a show that's been coming on called You Bet Your Life, hosted by Jay Leno. You know, it's like you get two random contestants ask simple questions for money or something. You know, it's basic. And then Jay Leno has his usual comedy. But we hear, oh, you're a professional wrestler. And I understand you wrestled The Rock, and that made me. And who do I see? Eric Rowan. Yes, was on a game show. I don't know if he needed the money. I don't know if he was going to donate it. Whatever, not our business. But it was just interesting to see, you know, former Eric Rowan. I believe he's Eric Redbeard now. I haven't seen him wrestle in a while. I don't know what indie shows he's been a part of lately. But it's just weird. Like, you look over, that's Eric Rowan. What the... I think he won. I can't remember. I was just too excited. But speaking, actually, well, not going back to Carmella, but speaking of other stupid stuff said, Goldberg after his match at Crown Jewel, this again reported by Cultaholic.com. Goldberg says, my WWE Crown Jewel performance shut all these fuckers up. Goldberg, I put you over earlier and you deserved it. But no, it did not shut us up. It was not that great. You did good. You lasted more than we all thought you would. But no. No, it did not shut us up. Wow, you have a big head. This one, you idiots. But he did. So Goldberg has admitted that he doesn't have the best track record when wrestling in Saudi Arabia, but believes his efforts at Crown Jewel was enough to shut us all up. But he goes on to say what a great guy Lashley is. He thought the match was, he just thinks the match was better than it was, or is, however you want to say it, but no. Bill, come on. And when are you and Riddle going to fight? Anywho. All right, so the last headline I want to talk about here is on JR getting into the pot business. And wow, I'm really putting over Cultaholic today. But yes, from them, Jim Ross reveals he's starting a cannabis farm business. The iconic announcer says he, his daughter, and his son-in-law are working together to open a cannabis farm in Oklahoma in the near future. He has recently purchased some land in order to facilitate the undertaking. The use of marijuana for medical reasons was legalized in Oklahoma in 2018. Ross wants to leave his children something that can help build towards their future while he's still alive. That's cool. Good old JR. Speaking on the latest episode of Grilling JR, that's a podcast, if you didn't know. The AEW commentator revealed my youngest daughter, her husband, and I, another guy, a lawyer, a specialty in the field, are getting ready to start a cannabis farm. We're looking at the working title of Black Hat Farms. I can see that. I got some land in Oklahoma. Okay. So he just goes on to say essentially what they just said. But no, I'm with it. I could see, heck man, it's a new bit. Well, it's not new, but it's another new business venture. It's something a lot of people can make a lot of money in nowadays. And why not? That's really cool of JR, not just wanting to get into the business. He wants to do something for his family. I'm all for that. I will say, though, I have never exhaled. So, but anywho, let's end this weirdness of a podcast. Thanks to all who watch. Please, as always, like, share, and subscribe to the Squared Circle Rants YouTube channel, or what you're watching on right now. Leave comments below, anything you want to tell me. Agree, disagree with me, I don't care. I just want to hear from you. I also want to hear from you at the Squared Circle Rants Facebook page, where you can find these shared articles, funny memes, our own little rants when it just hits our head. But yes, thanks for stopping by, guys, and always mark out with us. Squared Circle Rants. Mark out with us.